understanding of culture requires an understanding not only of language differences but also differences in knowledge, perceptions, beliefs, attitude, and behaviors. Culture generally refers to pattern of human activities and the symbolic structures that give such activities significance and importance. It can be understood as system of symbols and meaning that even their creators contest and that interact and compete with one another. It can be defined as all the ways of life, including art, belief, and institution of a population that are passed down from generation to generation. It's a pattern of learned and shared behaviors and belief of a particular social, ethnic, or age group. It can also be described as the complex whole of collective human beliefs with a structured stage of civilization that can be specific to a nation or a time period. Let's take the Ashanti as an example. The Ashanti live with their families, as you might assume, but the meaning of how and why they live with whom is an important aspect of their culture. The family and the mother's clan are most important. A child is said to inherit the father's soul or spirit, and from the mother, a child receives flesh and blood. This relates them more closely to the mother's clan. They live in various homes that are set up around courtyard. The head of the household is usually the oldest brother that lives there. He is chosen by the elders and called either father or house father, and everyone in the household obeys him.
Culture is the way we see and do things as a society. The term incorporates the social norms, values and traditions, knowledge and technology, food, language, the arts, and many other things. Culture is an important part of the way we experience life. Whether we stay at home or travel the world, are engaged with the latest news and political debates, or simply enjoy reading a good book or watching a good movie, we are actively engaging in the culture that surrounds us. Mahatma Gandhi once said that a nation's culture resides in the heart and the soul of its people. The role of culture is that it is the form through which we as society reflect on who we are, where we've been, and where we hope to be remarked. Indeed, the mark of a thriving civilization is the passion of its people for arts and culture.
Business is the activity of making one's living or making money by producing or buying and selling products, such as goods and services. Business can take the form of agriculture, transportation, financial services, entertaining, and a lot of forms with one purpose only, and that is making profit. Now, in such context as we live in nowadays, business has turned into a new complicated version in which selling and buying goods is not an easy thing to do because of the globalization. If you want to sell gas, you have to buy it from the Middle East or Russia. If you want to sell phones, you have to buy from USA or China. In other words, doing business is having to deal with the rest of the world, meaning that you have to deal with countries with different commercial policies, deal with the risk of shipping through thousands of miles, but let's just say that you manage to deal with all of these complications. Now you're gonna find yourself dealing with another issue because the people you're buying from and those to whom you're selling are so different of you. With more than 6,000 languages, the least of your problems is the governments of countries you're doing your business in. Not to mention tens of thousands of cultures that you know nothing about. This is why business goes beyond the simple task of buying and selling. It's the art of interacting with those who buy from you and those who sell to you.
All of us are aware that cultural differences are significant and that they affect how we interact with others in business. But the question here is, how does it impact in negotiation in particular? What is negotiable and what occurs when we negotiate can differ greatly across cultures. For instance, Americans tend to view negotiating as a competitive process of offers and counter-offers, while the Japanese tend to view the negotiation as an opportunity for information sharing. Culture affects negotiation in different aspects.
The criteria used to select who will participate in a negotiation is different across cultures. This criteria can include seniority, family connections, gender, age, and status. Different cultures weight these criteria differently, leading to different expectations about what is appropriate in different types of negotiations. For example, in China, it is important to establish relationship connections early in the negotiation process. Cultures influence how people communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. There are also differences in body language across cultures. A behavior that may be insulting in one culture may be totally innocent in another. To avoid offending the other party in negotiations, you need to observe cultural rules of communication carefully. For example, placing feet on a desk in the United States is a sign of relaxation. In Thailand, it is considered very insulting. Culture differ in the degree to which protocol and the formality of relations between the negotiators is important. American culture is one of the least formal cultures in the world. A familiar communication style is common. First names are used while titles are ignored. European countries are very formal, and not using the proper title to address someone is considered as an insult.
Company culture has a significant impact on business goals and employee morale. Corporate culture can grow organically within an organization, or you can take specific action to create a healthy environment at your company. In this video, we will discuss some of many benefits of corporate culture. Firstly, we have employee retention. Studies show that companies with a strong culture see more engagement with their employees. Employees who think favorably of their work environment are more likely to remain loyal to the organization, which greatly reduces employee turnover. Secondly, we have reputation. Build a positive reputation among client, employee, and the general public. It attracts like-minded, talented professionals as well. A high-quality reputation allows companies to charge higher prices for products and services, which increase the overall value of the company. Even with the higher prices, consumers may prefer to work with a more reputable business. Thirdly, we have employee unity, making employees feel like they are valued members of a team and encouraging them to feel more invested in the success of the company as a whole, rather than just focusing on their own accomplishment. Finally, making better decisions. A defined company culture with a shared vision and values encourages employees to make better decisions.